All right, so we're live on the internet, polluting the airwaves with my shenanigans. Great. Uh, welcome. It's Saturday morning. Christmas is a couple of weeks away. Hope everybody's ready. This should be a fun little painting that we're going to be doing here. And hopefully you guys will enjoy what we're doing. This is going to be just a kind of summertime type painting. Now, originally, this was done by Nicholas Hankins on the New Joy of Painting show a couple of seasons back, but we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to, I think we're going to do a sunset scene. Now, Nick did a midday scene, so we're going to change it just slightly. By the way, if you don't know, I'm Sean, and I am a certified Bob Ross instructor, and hopefully I'm going to teach you how to do this fun little painting. All right, so let's go through what we've got set up here. This is a 12 by 24 inch canvas, and obviously you can see it's in portrait mode. And our colors today, and of course, before I do that, a little excited here, we've got our liquid white, Bob Ross liquid white, that we've covered the canvas in with a thin, even coat. All right, so now to our paints, we've got titanium white, very thick and dry. We've got some Prussian blue, some phthalo blue, sorry, I keep messing up today. Prussian blue, mountain mix. We've got dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson. We have some sap green, and then we've got our yellows, which I put out of order because I wasn't really paying attention. But that's yellow ochre, Indian yellow. We've got cad yellow, and then just a little bit of bright red down there. All right. So before we get started, I'm going to take my palette knife and just stretch these colors out to make my life a little bit easier. Give me a little runway. Okay. I'll show you what I mean. Just going to stretch them out just like that while we wait for folks to maybe jump in and see what's going on. We've got some dark sienna, to pull that down. Got Van Dyke brown. We've got our alizarin crimson, our sap green, and then our different yellows. This will just make it easier by having these little runways when you start mixing and doing all that fun stuff. All right, so we're just about done with that. Put that to the side. Not going to need that right now. And there we go. All right, so let's see what kind of trouble we can get into today. Welcome to the show. Hopefully everybody's ready to learn how to do a Bob Ross painting or Bob Ross style painting. All right. So we're going to take our brush. I'm just going to use the dirty brush. This is the brush that I use to put the liquid white on the canvas. It's just a 1-inch Bob Ross brush. Boy, I'm really messing up today. All right, and I'm kind of seeing a sunset scene. So we're going to come up here and, I don't know, maybe right in there, you start putting in our yellow. Because we have that look of white, it's going to kind of pastelize. It's going to make it look more of a pastel color. Now, if you want this to look stronger, then I would suggest using the Bob Ross liquid clear. Get that on there. We'll get some Indian yellow. Maybe mix that in there a little bit. There we go. It's a beautiful yellow. Probably my favorite yellow. Maybe one of my favorite colors. But you can just mix that in there. Hilly-nilly. Paint like you don't care. Kind of the best advice that I was ever given. And then maybe surround that with a little bit of the yellow ochre right in there. It's really nice. Maybe a little bit on top. Oh yeah, there we go. And the great thing about these Bob Ross paintings that you've seen Bob do is you've really got 3 or 4 paintings just from one. You can change the time of day, you can change the time of year, and it's really, really easy. And suddenly, instead of just one painting project, you can get 3 or 4 out of them. So that's pretty cool. All right, so there we go. got our yellows. Now we're going to surround that with a little bit of bright red. And I mean a little bit, because that bright red is really strong. Going to kind of come up here closer to the horizon. Now you see what I mean. That was just a few little drops of the bright red. And boy, it just suddenly will take over. Okay. I'm going to put some more on it. Do want a little more because if here I'm going to have blue. I want that red to act as a barrier. We don't want any green in the sky. That's not good. I'm not going for any green skies. Maybe I'll mix some alizarin crimson with it just to be on the safe side. And just to give it kind of a change in flavoring. There we go. Just like that. And then as we get to the top, I'm going to mix together some Prussian blue onto the same dirty brush. I haven't cleaned the brush with some phthalo blue. These are really cool blue colors. But again, we want to make sure we don't get green. Okay. And we're going to start now from the top and we're going to come down. Okay. Start in the top, turn your brush, and I'm just doing these little crisscross strokes, these little figure of 8 strokes. I'm varying the pressure that I'm using. And come down, let it kind of kiss that pinkish glow. And that's really all you got to do. All right, so we're going to set that down. Maybe clean the brush a little bit, and we clean it in odorless paint thinner. Do not use turpentine. A lot of times I do get questions about, turpentine, or don't use that. It's going to ruin your brushes. It's going to leave a weird residue, but also it's going to stink to high heaven. You'll be the most unpopular person in your neighborhood, so don't do that. All right, so we're going to get a clean, dry 2-inch brush, and make sure it's clean and dry, because if it's soaking wet, you just cleaned it, you're going to have all this paint run. We don't want that. We're just going to come up here and just kind of gently blend this together. Now, most of the sunset stuff is going to disappear once we get the mountain, but some will remain, and it'll look really cool. All right, with that, maybe knock off a little bit of that paint that we're picking up. Also, always be sure to step back. Take a step back and make sure that you like what you're seeing, that you like what's going on. All right, I'm happy with it so far. We'll continue blending, see how happy I am once we're done. All right. Kind of come across there. Notice I'm just using the same strokes, the little crisscross strokes, to just kind of blend the sky out. There we go. Oh, that's really nice. All right. Again, take a step back, see if you like it. If you don't, this is the time to change it. Don't wait 30 years and be upset with what you did. Don't let it dry. Don't wait till you're done and then say, oh gosh, I should have done this. Take a step back, look at it. I really like what it is, or what it's turned out to be. So we're going to leave it right there. Take another step back. All right, I think we're ready for our mountain. And so our mountain is made, excuse me, with that mountain mixture that I already put down on the palette. I've got it nice and flat. I don't know if you can see that there. I'm going to take my palette knife. I'm going to cut across. I'm going to get that little roll of paint. Okay, little roll of paint. Now, for our purposes, I think the peak is going to be most up here. That's the highest peak. So we're going to just kind of touch it. And I want another peak kind of like right here. I'm going to have some dramatic lifting and falling on this one. If you notice, you kind of already have a mountain on your knife. Your knife shape is almost there like a mountain. So what we can do is just come up here, just put this guy right there. Come back here, kind of solidify that edge a little bit. There we go. Let him kind of come off the canvas that way. Okay. And that's about all the paint that you're going to need on that side. You don't need to come all the way down here with your dark paint. As a matter of fact, I think that would be a bad idea. So come here. He's going to kind of come off the canvas there. a little interesting shape. Maybe there's another peak like right in there, and then it's going to come something like that. So, all right, get just a little more paint. Let's fix this guy here. Just kind of, there we go. I kind of like these interesting mountain shapes. Don't want them to look like TPs or M's or N's or whatever. That's not a good shape. There we go, just like that. Maybe get just a little bit more, kind of solidify this guy in here. And then I'm going to start scraping. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure you can hear that. Or I hope you can. That is a very firm scrape. Get all that paint off. All of that off. All right. Just like that. I mean, if you can scrape, then you can paint. And I think anybody can scrape, so just about anybody can paint. All right, that looks good. Where that is at. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll try to answer in the stream if I can, if I see them. So let's see. All right. Oops. What we're gonna do now, set that knife aside. I'm gonna take that 2-inch brush that I used for blending. Excuse me, pardon me, I got it cut in front of the camera. Just kind of dry clean it. We're gonna come up here now, and we're just gonna pull that paint. This is gonna do a couple of things. First, it's gonna get some more of that excess paint off. We don't want that up there. Second thing is that you can see down here, it's gonna start to blend out the bottom. So it'll look like your mountain's sitting in mist. That's a really nice effect. That's kind of one of those happy accidents. But the third thing it's also going to do is allow you to start laying out your highlights and your shadows. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but if you're here painting, and when you're painting on your own, you'll notice that you can see the strokes, and the strokes will kind of tell you where you want to put things. Okay, let's come down here and kind of get some more of that paint off. Now I'm seeing a lot of the under paint still showing through. Down here it's nice, but I don't want it up there. So if that happens to you, that's no problem. You just grab a little more of that mountain mix. Just kind of come up here, put that back in. Okay. But do little bits at a time. You know, if you come up here and you put half a thing of paint, you're going to be upset. It's not going to look quite as. I can wait to scrape it again. This time I'll just take a 1-inch brush. It doesn't really matter. Just happen to see it, grab it first. Okay. Now watch. This guy has a stray hair. Don't want that. All right. I'm gonna pull this down. Pull this down just like that. Pull this guy down, and then start blending. All right. And we can come back and fix this if we need to. But I think I'm liking this so far. All right, just get some more of that paint off. There we go. All right. This is the 1-year anniversary of when I got my certification. 1 year ago, I was in Florida. What a beautiful state. Doing the certification, just wrapping up. It was actually Friday the 13th. And had some fun. I got to eat my first set of gator nuggets. And boy, was I hooked. Those are pretty good. Never had them, you should try them. All right. Now, once again, take a step back. I'm cleaning my knife. Not doing anything important. Just take a step back. And I like it. All right. So since we like it, we're going to start now with the fun part. And that is the mountain highlights. I'm going to highlight this mountain. So I'm going to pull our titanium white out. I'm going to get, it's supposed to be a little roll of paint. Boy, this is really firm and dry. So I'm going to actually remove some of that paint. Like a glop there. Sorry, I keep passing in front of the camera. Sometimes it can be just a little bit too dry, and that one was. All right, so I'm gonna get just a little roll of paint, maybe, on my knife. It's too little. Having trouble this morning. Okay, now I'm gonna come up here. This is a very gentle touch. Just kind of come up to the top there and just very lightly let that paint break. Okay, come back, pull out that runway again. Get yourself another little roll of paint. Come up here. No pressure though, no pressure whatsoever. And just let it glide down the mountain. Okay, just glide down the mountain, and that paint will start to break and lift and just do all sorts of cool things. Now, if it's not doing what you want, take a step back, look at it, see if this is working out okay. This paint is not cooperating today, so we'll fix that. Just going to get some more titanium white and pull it out. Once again, that little roll of paint. There we go. There we go. Sometimes it can be just a little too dry. Wipe that off. Get yourself that little roll of paint. This looks on the edge of the knife. Come back up here. Maybe let's make it look a little interesting. Let's kind of come around there, just like that. That little sort of looks like a kind of a J maneuver that you're doing. And then just kind of come over it, let it break, let it break. Get yourself some more paint. Come back over here. There you go. Look at that. Take a step back. As always, see if you like the way it looks from a few feet away, because it will be difficult to see when you're right up in it. Okay, that's not something that you want. Okay, so I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to pay attention to the chat from time to time. Come back over here. Let's kind of redo this. Again, this is a very gentle touch, just like Bob said. Just imagine you're trying to paint the wings of a butterfly without knocking them out of the air. That's literally how gentle you have to be. Pardon me again. Well, I should just move this over here so I don't have to keep stepping in front of the camera. Put those paper towels over there as well. All right. And once again, you got that little roll of paint. Come up here. We can't leave this guy unhighlighted. Get his feelings hurt. We don't want that. Okay. Just that way. Get some more paint. And kind of come back in here. Just like that. Some more. Kind of solidify this guy up. Just like that. And then just start pulling down. This is very gentle though. This is so gentle. You don't want it to look like you're icing a cake. Okay, just come back. There we go. Look at that breaking. Oh, that is so nice. There we go. Come back, kind of start looking. It needs to be solidified right in there. I don't like straight lines. If you watched me before, I do not like these to have straight lines. So then it's going to start to shallow out into the valley there. All right. This is a little bit too messy. Sometimes messy is good, but it's maybe too messy. There we go. All right, we're going to take some of that white, and I'm going to move over to the side. I'm going to mix up a shadow color. So I've got that white. Take some of my different blues, both of them actually, and just mix that in there. but I want it to look, I think Bob said marbledy. I don't know if that's a word or not, but Bob said it, so it's good enough for me. Just like that. Got some streaks in it. That's really nice. Okay. You're going to come back and it's the same thing. You're just going to get a little roll of paint onto the knife. Okay. Once you're ready, just get that little roll. You might want to clean the knife first. All right. So we're going to get that little roll of paint just like that. This would have been a good spot to take a step back if you haven't done so yet. I just did, so I'm okay. And come up in here and let's start with this guy here. What the heck? Just kind of bring that down right in front of that guy. And we'll come back and solidify some of those highlights too. Okay. Get yourself that little roll of paint. Bam. There you go. Who knew oil painting could be so easy? I did not. That's for sure. Okay. Come up here. And in these tight spots, you can just use a part of the knife. You can use the little edge of the knife, kind of like that. But we don't need to have the exact same amount of highlights as we do shadows. If you have 1 ounce of highlights, you should probably have just 1/10 of an ounce of shadow or something like that. You don't need the exact same amount because you got that underpainting. All right, come up in here, just kind of mess that up, the highlight there, but that's okay. We'll fix that. Just come through there. See, I like leaving those little holes. Just come in there. Gotta make those sounds. Gotta make those funny little sounds. Just kind of like that. And we'll fix that. Don't worry about that. We'll come back and fix all of that. I'm gonna put, boy, this is some thick paint today. There we go. Just keep it like that. Now come back, see if you like what you've done. Because remember, this is the time to fix it now. Don't wait. I always tell students, don't wait. Okay. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask. I appreciate your questions. I think I like that. So we'll come back and get some of that white. I've got a little bit of blue mixed in, but that's okay. And we can kind of re-establish some stuff right there. Again, this paint is super thick today. It is not cooperating. So clean some off. There we go. That seems like a little better spot. Come back and just kind of start breaking up that edge, that real sharp edge. There we go, just like that. Okay. Palette's already a mess. Maybe. There we go. Just kind of solidify that right in there. This is very, very gentle. Very gentle. Just like you're a whisper floating across the mountain. That's how gentle it should be. Okay. Just that way. There you go. There you go. Wow. Wow. I'm still impressed by this and been painting for a minute and it never ceases to amaze me. Okay. Look at that. I like it. I like it. All right. So enough fiddling around with the mountain. I could be here all day, but we don't have all day. So let me clean off that 1-inch brush. Give it a good wrap. Beat the devil out of it. All right. We're going to take a clean, dry 2-inch brush. Make sure it's clean and dry. And we're just going to tap, 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 tap. along the bottom here of the mountain to try to give it that kind of misty effect. You notice I'm not going up the same height every time. Okay, we don't want that symmetricalness. That kind of makes it look like you cut the mountain off with a knife. All right, we don't want that. Come up that way. And then just tap, 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 tap. Up in this way. Lift up, same procedure. And I think we're good to go. All right. So once again, you know the rule. Step back and let's see. We like what we're doing. I like what I'm seeing. So now it's time to kind of start moving in towards the foreground. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is one of my favorite things. We're going to do tap and crash trees. We're going to take our number 6 Bob Ross fan brush. I'm going to load this bad boy up with some green. This is the sap green, but then I'm going to add maybe, let's look back here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we'll just add just a smidgen of blue to it. Darken it up just a little bit. See if I like that. Come over here. I'm going to use this misty effect here to our advantage. That's a little too green. I want it to be like a dark green, not quite that color. So remember, this is the time to change. Don't sit there and suffer in silence. There we go. That's just added some of the mountain mix to it. I think that's a little better. What do you think? Hopefully you like it too. All right. Come down. These are just tap and crash. Just tap and crash. Easiest trees to make in the world. Okay. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's for sure. Come back over here. Just do some more. Just tap and crash. Crash, crash, tap, tap, crash, crash, tap. Some more. Make sure that they don't look like fence posts. You want them all together. Okay. Sometimes when we first start, we'll do something like this, like this, and like this. That's not what we're going for. You want them all to be together. But that's an easy fix. You just come in here, doop, 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 just like that. Doop, doop, doop. There you go. Those funny noises. I don't know why that helps, but it tends to help. All right. So very nice. I like it. Once again, take a step back. I'll look into the chat, see if there's anybody with any questions. Feel free to ask. I am quite happy to answer, if possible. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take that 2-inch brush that we were using, and I've got 2 of them here that are dirty, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to tap out the bottom real quick. And see, I left some of that mist. That's your good friend. That's a separator. All right. Mist out the bottom there. Take a step back. See if you like it. I probably should have made those a little darker, but that's okay. I'm going to take just a little bit of white. I do mean a little bit of white onto the brush and see if I can maybe add in some more mist there. And you can just do this to taste. Okay. Even as a matter of fact, you could even change your trees. I was saying, I wish they were a little darker. So maybe this is one of those happy accidents that get to show you how to change those up, make them darker. I just added some more mountain mix. There we go. So that's going to help. By making them darker, that's going to help the mist that I'm trying to put on there actually get on there, if that makes any sense. Just keep coming. There we go. Right in there, just plus that felt like they were a little too symmetrical. So I'll be able to change those up by doing this. I'm just adding a little more mountain mix, a little more sap grain to the mixture. There we go. Much better now, I think. Much better. Make sure you take my earlier advice and fix it if you don't like it. I should have fixed it a second time. All right, that's fine now. Set that bad boy down. Come back with this brush. Just mist out the bottom here. With that orange brush, tap, 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 tap. Kind of lift up maybe a little bit. That'll help sharpen the tops of those trees. All right, now we should be able to get some white on the brush. It's not going to take a whole lot. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera there. Just going to put in some mist here. Add a little more. I want it kind of flowing in this direction. So maybe it'll kind of taper off a little bit. That's quite all right. Just like that. There we go. And then just kind of do those little X strokes. Again, we're just kind of feathering out the bottom, turning that into a nice little fog bank, if you will. All right. There we go. I like what I'm seeing so far. So it's next. What's next? Got to work into the foreground, right? So let's work into the foreground. All right, I think I see what I want to do. I'm going to take that brush once again. This time I'm going to load it with more paint than I loaded it with earlier. And this is Mountain Mix plus Sap Green. Okay, get it full of paint though, because we're going to put some closer trees now. And this son of a gun, look at that. He is to a shot. You could almost shave with that guy. And now what we're going to do is we've got some trees, I think, that are going to come kind of in this direction. So I'm going to start here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe right there. There we go, just like that. Reload the brush just one more time. And now Bob does two types of trees, push up and push down. He liked the hanging downs. I like the push-ups. So we're going to come in here and just put some push-up trees there, just like that. And then you just got to decide, where does he end? I think he ends right there. Having a little bit of trouble getting the paint to jump off the brush. So I'm going to add literally a needle's head worth of paint thinner. Okay, that should loosen it up just a little bit. Maybe we'll come up here. This guy, he's taller. Okay. Just kind of come in there. And you'll notice sometimes on your brushes, one side tends to work better than the other. I don't know why that is. For me, it's this side seems to be working better than the other one. It's one of those strange things that you get happening with these natural bristle brushes. Add some green to it. I'm changing the mix just a little bit each time. Maybe, oh, I know, we'll put a big old guy there. This guy, boy, he's tall. His mama fed him right. Okay. Come up in here. He was mama's favorite. Look at that boy. Woo! A big old tree. Just come in there. All I'm doing is I'm literally kind of stippling the canvas. One of the things that I see when I teach class is folks are trying to paint a tree, so they're like trying to draw it. That's not the way to do this. Just give yourself a line, and then all you're going to do is tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it. Let the brush do the work. Don't let your brain do the work. Let the brush do it. You're going to turn your brain off for a minute. Come here and just kind of let it touch. And it actually works better if you go faster. Just kind of like that. Put some grass, these things down here at his feet. All right, kind of step back. See what we got going on. I like that. I like that quite a bit. So we're going to keep going here. I'm gonna maybe the land. Maybe the land comes. I know what we could do. Okay. You take a 1-inch brush. I'm gonna load it up with that mountain mix and green, sap green, and the mountain mix. Now I'm not really trying to get this to a chiseled edge, so the bristles are still open. I'm gonna kind of come this way. Got to make those noises. Some grass under those little bushy things. And you can kind of change the direction. You could bring one that's coming in here if you want. For now, I'm happy with this. So we're just gonna just like that. Okay. Maybe it should come up here kind of like that. There we go. You could even do this. If you do that, you're going to get a bushy effect. By that, I mean you're going to push up. Okay. You're going to kind of hit the canvas like this. And you'll get these little bushy effects that happen. Maybe the land comes right now. I don't know. All sorts of weirdness going on here. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. Just put a bunch of dark on here. We're going to make those. We're going to highlight that with grassy effects. So it's not really a big deal. Some more of that mountain mix. It's got the green in it. Should probably be getting a little darker anyways as it's coming forward in the painting. We're going to come right there. Just like that. This. Don't worry about paint like you don't care. Mix that up a little bit. This isn't really too terribly important because we're going to have a bunch of highlights and bushes, and we're going to change this around a little bit. Just want to get the dark onto the canvas. Okay, just want to get the dark onto the canvas. All right, come back in here. Now it's really darker. Oh, and now you can see kind of these bushy effects happening. Just like that. Okay. All right, so we got this beautiful meadow. In fact, I think this one was called Alpine Meadow. Appropriate name. Very appropriate name. All right. Put this guy here. And one last time, we're gonna come back in there. You can see all these little bushy effects. Now, we're getting closer to us in the painting. All right, we got kind of a mess. Hopefully I can fix this. I guess we're gonna find out if you're watching. Maybe I can fix this. Maybe I can't, who knows? Sometimes that does happen. All right. And set that 1-inch brush aside. Now I have some bigger trees that are going to be right in here, and they're closer to us. So now we're going to really load that brush up. Again, mountain mix. I'm going to throw in some blue of the various blues. We've got all sorts of things going on here. Maybe a little bit of that green. All right. Just so it has a green tint to it. Okay. Now step back again. Make sure you've got your orientation. I see a big tree. He lives right in here. Boy, that's dangerous. This is your bravery test. How brave are you? For the longest time, I was not brave enough to do this. We'll see. Maybe I should have stayed not brave enough to try this. Painting over that mountain. Okay, gonna load that fan brush up though with a lot of paint. And it's up to the furrow. Come up here, touch, 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 touch. And amazingly, we are doing okay. I like to leave some gaps because I'm going to put a trunk in this one. You're going to be able to see the trunk on this one, I think. Okay, so we're going to leave some gaps. Turn your paintbrush over. And then just, hopefully you can see that. It's just doing that little stippling effect. Brings that tree all the way down to the foreground. And what's really nice about that is that sets everything back now. Everything is set back. So we can take our palette knife. I'm going to get some Van Dyke Brown. Just a little roll of it. Actually, what I should do first is I'm going to come up here. I'm just going to plow through that paint. Kind of make the trunk already there a little bit. Okay, so that'll make my life a little easier. Then I'm going to take a little bit of that Van Dyke Brown. And it should be thicker at the bottom than it is at the top. Doesn't need to be that thick, but it's all right. There we go. Kind of see that trunk. And this is something that you sometimes forget to do. I get so excited by these trees. I forget to put the trunk in. There you go. Now you can come back if you want. You can kind of add some more in here. Maybe extend them a little bit. All right. Get yourself some more paint. Now, I see something really cool. There's a tree off to the side here. And so we're going to kind of just put him in there. All you can see are some of the branches and the pine needles kind of coming into the scene. But he's off to the side. Just like that. Can't see much of him. But that's going to help to set everything back. And then maybe we got another tree here. And this guy, maybe he's a politician. He's a little crooked. I'm going to set him there. Kind of the same process. I'm going to call him Flat Top. He's got a flat head. I'm going to put him there. Fill in those branches, just like that. Now, I know it probably to you looks like there's just a bunch of dark here, but that's okay. We're gonna fix that with our highlights. All right. Take that knife. Let's grab the small knife. Plow through this guy, through the paint. Kind of see his trunk that way. You can even do that here. There's always these sticks and twigs and all sorts of things, so you can kind of scratch them in. You can do that up here too. And that'll give you these, if somebody's looking real close, they're going to see these little sticks and twigs, and they're going to think, man, what did you do? Take a one-haired brush and go through this? Don't tell them any different. I believe that. Scratch through the paint in here. All these kind of sticks and twigs and whatnot. All right. We're going to set that brush to the side, take a step back once again. All right, it's time for some highlights. For that, we're going to take cad yellow. I'm going to mix it with some Indian yellow. I think I said earlier, Indian yellow is my favorite. I'm not going to put any green in this because I know the moment that it hits that, it's going to turn green anyway. So I want these highlights to be a little bit more powerful, so to speak. All right, so I got this bad boy loaded up. I did put a little drop of paint thinner. Let's see if that's going to help it stick. If it doesn't, we'll continue. We'll put some more. Just put a little bit of highlights up in here. Don't want to cover all that green. You don't want to cover all the dark. It's not really jumping off too much, so I'm going to add a drop more. Be careful with that paint thinner because it will turn this to mud very fast. We don't want mud. But if you've painted before, you know we all have a little mud every now and then. And just like that. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. I like that. That's really nice. Now, keep going. Come down here. We're just going to highlight this old boy here. Love painting trees. I will admit, this was my bugaboo for a long time. Was trees and clouds. And now I feel like I've finally gotten to where they're not too bad. You'll never be perfectly satisfied with your own work. We are our own worst critics. And I think Bob once said, I hope you're plagued with dissatisfaction because that's going to keep you painting. Because you know the next one is going to be the one. As it starts to darken, it should get darker, darker, darker as it gets to the bottom. Anyways, we're going to come in here just like that. All right. Now, probably should have put the highlights on the ground earlier, but oh well. Time to put some highlights on the ground, on that grass. So we're going to take our brush, and with this one, I'm just tapping it into the paint and pushing it forward. I'm going to get a ridge of paint onto the brush there. We're going to come in here, and we're just going to tap, 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 tap. Very gently, just like that. Okay. It's just going to keep going, just that way in the back there. You can keep changing. You can even change it up a little bit, add some yellow ochre to that paintbrush. And then, oh, that's very nice. Yellow ochre is a really cool color. I'm so glad Bob put that in his repertoire because it's very nice. Just come in here, these variations. Adding some Indian yellow to this one. And that's going to change it up again. So you've got these bands of grass way back in. Look how easy that was. I'm not going to highlight these because these are further back in my mind. We're not going to be able to see as much. Now we're going to come forward. And up in here, we got to highlight these. So this one's going to be a little different. I'm going to pull the paintbrush, I should say, through the paint. Okay. And we're going to get a really cool effect. What's going to happen is your brush is going to round. I was pulling it towards me. Turn that rounded part up. I'm going to come in here and very gently, we're going to put in some bushes, and that'll help push that tree back just a little ways. Very cool. You know what? I want to add some red, so we're going to add a little red to it. That might dull it down a little bit. That's okay. But when you're doing this at home, I should show you. You're going to get this stippling effect if you're doing it right. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. That looks like little bushes on the palette. Well, those bushes are in your brush. So we're going to come up here. Think about painting a clock. 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Fill in the middle. And suddenly, now you've got these bushes right there. Wow. Amazing. Okay. Maybe I want to add a little crimson to it. Again, just trying to change this up. Might give you a little bit of an orangey look, and that's really nice. Orange is a beautiful color for highlights. You can kind of come in here, and you know what I'm seeing? Actually, before I do that, I'm seeing kind of some rocks and stuff in here. So I'm going to come in maybe there's a path right in there. So we're going to throw in some rocks. It's that easy. Kind of come in. You can change your mind. Change your mind as you're going. Okay? Change your mind if you don't like it. Kind of come in here. Maybe there's a path that kind of comes in. Maybe it just ends right there. Who knows? Get some white. Mix it with that Van Dyke brown. I start a little bit on the knife. Come in here. And just that easy. Can do that. And then now we can get our highlight. Kind of put some highlights. Maybe there's some little bushes, some little grassy things. By putting that there, doing it like that, it's going to set the path back into the painting. And that's cool. You can also change the way you're loading the brush. And you can just use the side and just that way. Probably should have done some in there too, huh? No worries. We're doing everything out of order today. What the heck? What the heck? That's all right. Just come in here. Ooh, looks like there's some little flowers there. I don't know if you can see that. We've got a couple little spots of red. It's one of those happy accidents. All right. Come through. Add some more paint to the brush. This brush is really loaded. It's almost to a chiseled edge. Kind of come in here. And just put in some more highlights. You want to save some of that dark because that's what allows those highlights to show up. And there you go. Even got maybe some right in there. There we go, just like that. And now we're almost done. We just got one last little thing that's kind of become a tradition, and that is I tend to put birds into my painting. I always put one for each of my dogs that I've sent over the Rainbow Bridge. We've got 4. And so we're going to put 4 little birdies up in here. One for Chuck, who is our first miniature schnauzer. We've had only miniature schnauzers. Chuck passed in 2017. Then we had Dolly. So we'll put Dolly up in here. Just going to rest my arm on the easel. Then we had Eleanor. She was my favorite. And then Eleanor's daughter, who passed away just a couple months ago at the age of 15, was Big Grace. And there we go. That is Alpine Meadow. I hope you had a good time. Give it a shot. I think you're going to like this one. This is one that I think I'm going to teach in a class here coming up this year. So thank you for watching. I'm Sean. Like I said, I'm a certified Ross instructor, and we'll see you in the next video.